Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Acting Mayor Dave Dillan,
Here.
Councilmember Lindsee Larson,
Here.
Councilmember Norris Johnson,
Here.
Councilmember Ken Muller.
Here. I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
We got one addition. Ordinance number 505. We could add that under new business.
Actually, Dave can add that under ordinances.
Oh, all right, we'll put it there.
Item J.
I should have brought my glasses.
And then if my last name's spelt wrong, if that makes a difference.
On,
Here.
On the agenda?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I think we had that. Approval of the minutes, 9:15 and 9:27, 2022. Can I get a motion for that?
Move for approval.
I'll second.
Any discussion on those? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Approve, or opposed? Minutes are approved. Approval of bills and quarterly financial reports.
I'll make a motion for approval.
Second.
Any discussion on those? The only one I had was on 216, but Tammy took care of that ahead of time. Otherwise, hearing nothing else, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes. Public hearing. None, there's no public hearing,
nope.
correct? Okay, open forum. Anybody that is here to address anything that is not on the agenda? Did anyone sign in?
I have
time?
not received anything.
Okay, is there anyone here that's addressing anything not on the agenda? I have one thing that I will address at this time. I met with the Rec Fest committee on Monday. We went over plans moving forward. I think we got some things accomplished. They have some questions that we need to work through. But I think a lot of positive things happened. I think they have a good plan. They're working on some organizational items, and hopefully they can move forward with that. They are going to move, the biggest thing they have to do is move forward and get some bands to pencil in our date so that they don't lose out on them, which they can do on their own. And I think that's about it. Most of it is stuff that we're going to need to meet on as time goes on here. But they're working on items and trying to get their organization going and in a different direction. But RecFest hopefully will move on like always. They have a dedicated group of volunteers, so that went well. So hopefully we can move forward with that. Anything else? Request communications, ordinances and resolutions. I'll entertain a motion for Resolution 2241, PERA, full-time police officer.
So moved.
I'll second.
Anything we need to know, Quinn, different than? Nope. Okay. Any questions, anybody?
No.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution 2241 passes. Resolution 2242, assess lawn mowing.
Move for approval.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution passes. Resolution 2243, appointing election judges.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution passes. Ordinance number 499, amending Title III, Chapter 33, City Policies, Section 33.20, Criminal History License Background Investigations. This is the second reading. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Anything on that we need to look at? No changes, correct? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 499 passes. Ordinance number 500, amending Title 9, Chapter 94, Section 94.18, Public Nuisances Affecting Peace and Safety Provision F, Noise, second reading.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
And I don't think any changes there either, right? Okay. We're good on that one. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ordinance 500 passes. Ordinance number 501, repealing Chapter 116, Gambling Regulations, second reading.
Move for approval.
I'll second.
And the changes were in the other one, not this one, right? Okay. So we should be good on this. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ordinance number 501 passes. Ordinance 502, Chapter 116, authorizing and regulating the conduct of lawful gambling within the city, second reading.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Discussion. This is the one that had some changes.
Yeah, there was a typo in one section, and then we changed the language in 116.15 to kind of limit the documentation that they would be required to provide to Tammy. And then we changed the percentage of the proceeds that have to be spent in the designated area to 50%. It was 100%. We reduced that to 50%, which is fine.
And I was in contact with Travis Hall, who was here last time to talk about that issue. He had read the new ordinance, thought it would work for them and their organization, so he was comfortable with it too, so that was good. Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 502 passes. Ordinance 503, amending Title 9, additional Chapter 98, beekeeping, first reading. Wow, I gotta bring glass.
I would make a motion that we table this, just, it needs a little further research and background and.
I'll second that.
Before we table it, can I just, Dan had some clarifications. Did you want to mention that now? Okay. Okay, and then work on it?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm actually against it, so if that makes a difference at all.
Okay.
Do you want to table, are you talking about 503 and 504 together?
Yeah, I would, make it one motion.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, 503 first. All right, we got a motion and a second. All in favor of tabling ordinance 503?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, 503 passes. Ordinance 504, amending, now it's the chickens.
I would also make a motion to table this, to do a little further work on it. There's no urgency at all to pass this, so.
And we did have one planning commission member oppose it, so. somewhere in there.
You need a second. I'll second
Okay, all in favor of ordinance 504?
Aye.
Tabling it.
Tabling it, sorry, thank you. Norris caught me. Tabling 504.
Aye.
Aye.
it. Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Ordinance 504 is tabled. City manager, is she gonna do a report by that or no?
Tammy, are you able to do any report via phone?
What's that?
Do you want to do any report via phone? for the city manager?
Yeah, we'll do at our staff meeting today, so each one of us are working on items that we need to accomplish. I'm working on a comp plan here at home. I'm working with Phil Gravel on some new mapping within the comp plan, trying to get that reorganized, and there's a lot of language in the comp plan that needs to be updated since 2007, so it'll be a lot of process with the language in it, because there's a lot of language that doesn't even apply to the
Thank you.
city anymore. So we'll be working hard on that. We're hoping to have a community event where we can invite the people to be part of the comprehensive plan and what their goals are for the city. So that'll be later in the year, we're hoping. And then in January, I'm hoping to have a planning commission meeting to review the final of the comp plan and then bring it to council for the final passing of it. Otherwise, that's all I have for now.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to go back to ordinances. I didn't read my own writing. We missed ordinance 505.
Oh, be amended.
Yeah.
There you go, Dave.
An ordinance amending Title III Administration, Chapter 30, Section 30.19, Order of Business of the City of Milaca Code of Ordinances, basically to add a consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
Move for approval.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on that? Can we waive the first reading, jump right to the second reading?
Waive the second.
Or waive the second reading, sorry.
Yeah, on something like this, yes, you can.
Yep. Can we get a motion to waive the second
I'll
reading?
make a motion to waive it. Second reading.
All in favor?
Aye.
So now we need a motion, we got to vote on the first one, don't we?
Oh, vote for approval.
Yep, all right. So we need a motion again for the, well, we had a motion, a second for the approval.
I'll make a motion for approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So now we can next month?
Start with the
Correct.
consent agenda and then work with whatever items you want.
Perfect. All right, now we'll go back to reports and departments, sorry about that. Police department, yes, sorry.
This is Tate Razum. He is our newest hire. I don't know if when you were asking about the PERA piece, if there was anything to know about that, it's just because he's a new hire. So
Right.
that's why we're putting that in place. So Tate, I'll have you stand over here, face towards me.
Yep.
Can you raise your right hand and just repeat after me?
Okay.
I, Tate Razum, do solemnly swear
I, Tate Larazum, do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States and of this state,
to support the Constitution of the United States and this state,
and to discharge faithfully the duties of police officer for the police department of the city of Milaca,
and to discharge
the duties of police officer
the duties of police officer
for the police department of the city of Milaca,
for the city of Milaca
to the best of my knowledge and ability.
to the best of my knowledge and ability.
Welcome, Tate.
Thank you.
Tate comes to us from Isle. This is his first job in law enforcement. We're excited to have him. He will, once off FTO, will be full staff, so that'll be great. It's been about 8 months that we've been trying to get someone hired and through training, so welcome to Tate. Your family is interested in pictures on some. And then as for activity report, I don't know that you guys have one, but we've been steady as usual. We just sold 3 of our forfeited vehicles in the city auction, which is nice because our lot was getting pretty full. We still have probably about 10 there that are at some point in the pending process of forfeiture. And I would say with where we're at this point this year, we're probably shooting for anywhere from 3,500 to 4,000 ICRs for the year by the time we get to the end, which is a pretty steady year for us.
Anything else for Quinn? Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Parks Commission, anything from the Parks Commission?
Go back to the memo of understanding,
Yeah,
the union memo of understanding.
yeah.
Okay.
We don't need a motion on that, do we?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, we do?
It is the memo of understanding to add the
Yep.
union holiday.
Yep, we're at,
19th
yep.
to the contract.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the union edition of Juneteenth?
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second.
Any other discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Now we can go to the Parks Commission.
Gary's out of town, so
Okay.
he won't be here tonight. So.
Okay, so Public Works too then.
Yep.
And the liquor store was the cement quotes?
Yeah, and Vicky sent an email, I don't know if you guys have got, she is recommending Johnson's Custom Creations to finish the work by the Cape Cooler.
Okay, yeah, I saw the email, so. Can I get a motion for that?
So moved.
Go ahead, Ken.
Can you second it?
Yeah, Ken
you
took it.
Second it, okay.
Okay.
Any other discussion on that? Like you said, Vicky was in favor of that, so. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I think that was it from the liquor store.
Yeah.
Planning Commission, Resolution 2244, conditional use permit 555 State Highway 23, 8-unit apartments.
Is Phil Carlson there, Dolores?
Yep, Phil Carlson
Yep.
is here, the zoning administrator from Stantec, so he's gonna help us fill in with all the events from the planning commission. There was quite a few this month, so.
Okay, can I get a motion to second on this one first, and then we'll,
I'll make a motion.
For second.
okay. It's all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. I'm Phil Carlson with Stantec, the planner. So this request is for a conditional use permit. Sean Williams, the developer, is proposing this at 555 Highway 23 East. In the zoning code, multifamily residential is allowed as a conditional use in that B2 district as it's zoned. And so that simply means that it's presumed to be a permitted use but that the city can impose reasonable conditions on that use. Typically things like landscaping and lighting and looking at the building materials and just making sure that it really does conform to the zoning code, which it does. And the Planning Commission did vote to recommend approval of this. And in the resolution are the conditions, 4 conditions relating to landscaping, a privacy fence on the west side, lighting to make sure it's downcast type lighting, and that the future project sign, there's 5 conditions. Project sign will meet the district standards and that the requirements of the city engineer and public works director will be followed. And then there are also 4 findings of fact that are in the resolution as stated. So if the council agrees with this, your motion is to approve this resolution 22-44.
Any discussion?
We did have a couple of residents send in letters. They were just kind of concerned with the traffic and water and sewer lines, but the issues that they were concerned about are things that can be addressed as the project goes along. There isn't anything that would uphold or hold back the project for anything.
I'm sure water and sewer would be an engineering issue and
Right.
all that would be taken care of.
Water and sewer, and it would be to make sure that it can be connected properly and would not be typically a zoning issue per se. The question is the project as designed and submitted, does it meet reasonable conditions to be permitted as a conditional use? And it should be noted that this lot has been zoned B2 for commercial uses for many years. It's vacant. So there are many uses that could come in on that lot, simply apply for a building permit it and wouldn't need special attention by the Planning Commission or approval from the City Council. And uses could have more activity and traffic than this 8-unit apartment building. That being said, they have proposed a privacy fence on the west side so that the two uses have some degree of privacy and separation. There's landscaping around it. The traffic would be, again, probably less than what many commercial uses could be on that property.
Anything else? You weren't at that one, were you, Norris? Yeah, I didn't think so, okay.
So that will be connected to the alley, there will be a two-way there.
Yes, there's two access points. It fronts on Highway 23 on the north side, and there's a shared driveway with the parcel next to it, and there's easements in place to allow that. And then it does connect to the alley, like all of the properties on that alley. So again, a commercial use could come in and use that alley if they wanted to. So this apartment building, 8 units, would also have that access. And it should be noted that you've got my report in your packet that shows the site plan, and there is a garage proposed on the south side of the site. So that garage building will be a barrier to a lot of the traffic activity, lights, et cetera, at the apartment building itself to south to the alley. But of course, cars, traffic, the residents there could use the alley, just like the other residents and businesses on those properties that have access to the alley can use it.
Was there a privacy fence on the west side?
On the west side, for a portion of it, if you notice on the site plan and the aerial, there's a building on the property west of this property, and so that privacy fence is put up to separate really the traffic and parking and such between the two properties. Not required by zoning, but it was something that the developer proposed and certainly is a reasonable condition.
And it looks like they have additional landscaping beyond that.
Yes.
Each way to. as
Yes,
barrier.
yeah, there's landscaping around the entire site.
Any other questions?
It looks like the planning commission did a pretty thorough check on it, so,
Refill.
yeah.
All right, so Resolution 2244, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 2244 passes. Planning Commission Resolution 2245, variance corner setback. Jeez. 355 Third Avenue Southeast. Oh, sorry, yeah, can I get a motion?
Motion for approval?
I was already looking through my stuff.
I'll second.
All right, discussion.
Mayor and council, this one is a vacant lot, and like many of the older lots in the city, it is less than the standard that we currently have in the zoning code of 80-foot wide and 10,000 square feet. So with that narrow dimension up against Highway 23, putting any kind of building on it would be difficult to meet the setbacks. It could be done. There's graphics in the report that show that the buildable area, if you met the setbacks, would be a very skinny, long rectangle, which really isn't reasonable. So what the developer, Sean Williams, CKW Developers, is proposing is a 24-foot wide house, reasonable, typical, not an extremely large or wide house, and setting it back 14 feet instead of the required 30 feet to that. And it should be noted that being on Highway 23, it originally was a 66-foot wide lot. The highway took an additional 10-foot easement some years ago, making it 56 feet wide. So again, that contributes it being very difficult to meet those setbacks. So a 14-foot setback instead of the required 30 is a significant variance. And yet, if you look at the properties down the next 2 blocks, just about all of those structures are well in front of that 30-foot setback. They, I believe, have been in place for a long time and predate the 30-foot required setback. So what's proposed here is actually better in terms of setbacks than 4 of the 5 structures that are continuing on that block. So in terms of what will it look like and how will it blend in with the character of that area, I think it would be perfectly reasonable. And allowing that to be at that 14-foot setback instead of 30 then also gives some extra room on the north side, which really would be kind of the private yard for this house. So all in all, what's proposed, I think, is a very reasonable approach to it, but it does technically require that variance. 16 feet off of the 30-foot, so it's a 14-foot setback that is proposed. Again, the Planning Commission recommended approval, and those findings are in Resolution 22-45.
Thank you. Any other questions on that? It's a nice improvement for that corner.
It's a nice improvement for Highway 23. Apartment building too.
Yeah. If no other questions, how do you vote on 2245? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes. 2246, variance lot line adjustment 315 and 325, 3rd Avenue Northwest. Can I get a motion?
Make the motion.
I'll second.
It's yours again.
Okay, thank you, Mayor and Council. Resolution 22-46 deals with the request, which is for lot line adjustment and variances to lot size and lot width at 315 and 325 3rd Avenue Northwest. This is a situation where these 2 lots side by side, one house has been there for many years, I understand 100 years, and at some point in the past, the lot line, the north lot line of 315 actually encroaches into the house by just 1.6 feet. So the house is over the lot line, and the family, the Hakes, who own this, want to adjust that so that you don't literally have part of a structure and the garage too as well by the same about 1.5 feet onto the next lot to the north. And it can be done actually, and what they're proposing is to move that lot line by 11 some feet, and then it allows the required 10-foot setback to both structures. There's more than 20 feet now between the structures. So if we just move the lot line, then it satisfies that piece of it. But again, like many of the older lots in Milaca, these lots are under the minimum required 10,000 square feet and 80-foot lot width. So the request to simply move that lot line does technically require those variances, because the new lots that will be created are under the lot size and under the lot width, and that's for the variances, but it will improve the situation. So this is a curious and difficult situation that these owners found themselves in, and this is the remedy that was suggested and that will solve that. So again, the Planning Commission recommended approval of this, and Resolution 22-46 has the findings that they adopted. And it should be noted that this does involve 2 separate actions. There's the approval of the lot line adjustment and then the approval of the 2 variances, and it will affect both properties. So with one motion, you can affect those two actions, and it'll affect those two properties. Each property would then need to file this, if it's approved, file it with the county separately, but it's one decision of the city council.
You need another motion then? Or we did?
No, we got a motion in a
Yeah,
second,
okay,
so we're good on that.
okay.
Just a lot to figure out then.
Yeah.
We found a really old zoning map, and in that part of town, all of those homes were like 30 feet wide. And I'm sure it came with the first edition years ago, they just didn't need large lots. So the size that they have isn't uncommon for up in that area of the city. It's a lot of the lots are gonna be small size, so.
People were littler then.
Yeah, they need big houses.
Any other discussion?
Okay.
All in favor of Resolution 2246?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 2246 passes.
This one covers both.
Yep, one motion covered both, right?
Both properties that are side by side, yes.
Yep. All right, Planning Commission Resolution 2247, conditional use permit 260 Fifth Avenue Southeast. Can I get a motion to that?
So moved.
I'll second.
All right, go ahead, discussion again.
Okay, this one should be noted, 22-47 is a request for a conditional use permit for multiple dwelling in the R2 district for the property located at 260 Fifth Avenue Southeast. And it should be noted that approving this resolution is actually denying the conditional use permit, which was the recommendation of the Planning Commission. This is a structure on this property at 260 Fifth Avenue Southeast that was built as a single-family home. It was converted into 3 units, not approved by the city. And so in discussions with the owner's city staff said, you need to come in to get some kind of approval on this because it can't continue here as it is, not being approved. And as noted in the resolution and in my report, multiple dwellings are allowed as a conditional use permit in that zone R2. But there's some important conditions. It said a single-family home cannot be converted to more than 2 units. And this one has been converted into 3. So it's simply a use that is not allowed, and they're actually contemplating, hoping that they could have a 4th unit in that home. So the discussion here really in the report and in this resolution points out that this conversion even to 3 units is not allowed, and that in addition, the lot area doesn't meet what would be required for a 2-family home. As an existing single-family home sitting on the structure as it has for many years, it could stay there as long as they want. But this conversion and to 3 units or even 4 units is simply not allowed. So that is recorded in my report and in the findings that the Planning Commission had in and included now in the resolution. So the recommendation of the Planning Commission was to deny the conditional use permit. Passing Resolution 22-47 would deny that conditional use permit. And because this is a use that is not allowed and has been developed without city approval, there may be additional actions that city staff or the city attorney would recommend, but that's not in front of you right now. What's in front of you is this resolution on the zoning question.
Any questions on all of that information? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution 2247 passes.
Okay,
Think
thank
we're
you very
good.
much.
Thank you very much for all your information.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the fire department there he is.
I just want to thank everybody for coming to our open house. We had a huge success again. Otherwise, that's about it. We'll be coming up to our end of our fiscal year. At the end of October here. That's about it.
Okay, thank you, Jesse.
Yep.
Anything from the airport? I don't think so. Committees, EDC. Our last meeting was a presentation regarding childcare and the survey that was done. There'll be more information coming from that. They've created a task force and looking at ways to address it countywide and also in Milaca. So there should be some information coming up on that. Personnel and budget, we don't have anything right now. Unfinished business, new business. The Genesis Technology Corporation site lease agreement renewal. Can I get a motion for approval of that?
Move for approval.
Oh, second.
Any other discussion? Nothing really new?
As long as this been, we had a contract with them.
Been a while, I don't remember how long. You remember, Damien, by chance? No?
This is just a renewal of something that's been ongoing.
Yeah.
Tammy, do you know how long we've had this lease?
Well, since 2018, I believe. It was a 3-year lease. 18, 19. Yeah, so, oh, maybe not. I think it's been a good 3 years because the first contract we did with them was a 3-year contract. And this is a renewal for another 3 years. And this is the Genesis Wireless, and they're in the old water tower.
Any questions on that? You good, Norris?
Yep.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes. Easement by bypass on the Pearson property. Where's my map? What are we doing with this, Tammy? Just discussion?
Yeah, just discussion for now, to kind of get a directive from council. The Pearsons are asking for an easement through our property from that meeting that you and I, Vicky and Gary and Destiny, we all met, talked about that. The easement where we planned on putting it has been approved by Great River Energy to go by their telephone line, so we're okay there. As long as we have a 0 grade change to the land, the road can be put there. So if that's where council wants to make sure that it's put, it's probably only gonna be about a 50-foot road, so that it's not real close to our beer cave in the back. That's about the size that we'd get. So Damien and I and staff can kind of work out the measurements, because we'll have to have Gary do some measuring too to make sure that it's all laid out. It would require a survey. So,
A survey we wouldn't do, that would be the developer. Correct?
Or Pearson's?
Yeah.
oh, you mean Pearson's to do the survey?
Or whoever's buying that property, or,
Right.
yeah, it
Yeah.
wouldn't be on us.
It'd be their expense.
Yeah.
Who's ever benefiting from this.
Right.
So that's where we're at with that. So I guess we just need directives from council to proceed with getting that easement written up.
We did talk about, if you look at the picture to the left, to the side of it, would be the east. And going on that side, but where the parking lot ends is a pretty big drop. And it just didn't make a lot of sense. And we were not going to allow straight through the parking lot and turning the parking lot into a road. That didn't make a lot of sense. So this was the only option that we could come up with. So any thoughts? Do you want them to staff to move forward, or? I think it came about because there's interest in them selling, and did they have interested buyers or just interested in selling?
They just wanted to list it.
List it, that's what it was. Yep, and you can't really list it landlocked.
Is any of this in city limits then?
All of it.
All?
Yep.
Okay. So we would benefit from.
Yeah, that's the only reason to do it.
Sure.
We okay with moving forward with
Yeah, I
looking
think
into it?
I am.
Sure.
Okay, sounds like we all are, Tammy.
Okay, sounds good.
Nothing on page 2? Jeez.
Consent agenda being shorter.
I know. Council comments, I guess. Lindsay?
No.
Ken?
Yeah, I want to thank the fire department. You did a nice open house thing. You didn't take my Tesla apart. Thank you. Other than that, so thanks. Yeah.
As long as you're in the fire department, how's the lot? I was gonna ask you that, coming out.
It's done.
It's all good?
Yep.
Good, that's good.
Yeah, we got it done just before the open house.
That's what I thought. Good. Norris?
Nothing.
I don't have anything. Anything else, Tammy?
No, I don't have anything else.
Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There you go.
All right, have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Tammy. Talk to you later.